Einen wunderschönen guten Tag. Ich hoffe, ich bin gut zu hören. Sound vom Spiel wird hoffentlich genauso übertragen. Und ich darf euch begrüßen zum nächsten Livestream hier im Buddies VR Lounge. Heute schauen wir uns nochmal mit dem Unreal Engine VR Injector Mod ein Unreal Engine Spiel an. Ja, heute ist Star Trek Resurgence, wird es glaube ich ausgesprochen. Und ja, ich bin großer Star Trek Fan und habe natürlich auch insbesondere den Unreal Engine VR Injector Mod wegen diesem Spiel entgegengefiebert. Und deswegen dachte ich, naja komm, machst du noch mal einen kurzen First Impression mit euch zusammen. Im Chat sehe ich schon den guten Black Vipers. Moin, Commander. Und auch für dich und für alle, die zuschauen, geht die Hand hoch und spreizt die Finger zum vulkanischen Gruß. Lebet lang und erfolgreich. Willkommen im Buddies VR Lounge und das Seven Commander. Schön, dass du mit dabei bist. Freue mich riesig. Ja, und da gehen wir auch direkt rein. Wie gesagt, soll eine spontane, schnelle First Impression sein. Ihr müsst auch, die hatten wohl vor, auch eine VR-Fassung rauszubringen. Es gibt einen Ordner mit einer OpenXR DLL-Datei. Die müsst ihr umbenennen, damit das Spiel in VR läuft. Oder halt den Ordner einfach löschen. Ich glaube, ich habe ihn einfach gelöscht. Was aber ein Anzeichen dafür ist, dass sie sogar geplant hatten, eine VR-Fassung rauszubringen. Na, also wenn ihr das auch in VR spielen wollt, müsst ihr den Ordner löschen.
Crew is restless. After spending too many months piecing our ship back together, we're finally about to venture out on a new mission. And the crew isn't letting this unprecedented ion storm slow them down. They're ready for something different. I know I am. Perhaps more than any of them. Fortunately, nothing ever stays the same. It's entropy. Nature of the universe. Change is inevitable. And while entropy says order gives way to chaos, in this case, change is good. Our new first officer is en route to the Resolute. Jara Praydog. I know she'll bring a welcome dose of new blood to the crew.
Captain, Ionensturm! Ja, aber ich aufgefangen, ne? Gut, ne?
Thanks.
No problem.
Gerne doch.
I'm not great with flying.
Oh, das in der Sternflotte.
But these little shuttles are the worst.
Here's a tip. Don't close your eyes. You'd think that would make it easier, but it only makes it worse. Look out the window, pick a star, and just focus on that.
I'll give it a try.
Ich mag ja diesen einen Uniform.
Sorry, I'm a little anxious.
I hadn't noticed.
I'm on my way to my first assignment. When we get to the starbase, I'm transferring on to the Resolute.
So am I.
It won't be easy for Jara to step in at the 11th hour like this. But if she's half the officer I knew she could become when she was a cadet at Starfleet Academy, she'll be the XO this ship needs right now.
Schöne Schiffe. Eine Miranda-Klasse, da hinten fliegt eine Nova-Klasse. Ah, da ist eine Excelsior. Schön. Nova-Klasse. Ich bin so ein Fan der Nova-Klasse, ne? Einfach toll. Tolles Schiff. So, was schreibt der Black Viper? Sagt ich jetzt gleich. Moment. Erstmal hier aussteigen, ne? Sieht doch ganz gut aus. Melde dich bei der Sicherheit und hier, ne, gehen und bewegen und Kamera, klar, logisch. Aber gucken wir mal, der Black Vipers Buddy wieder als Captain unterwegs oder als Fähnrich. Also ich bin jetzt hier erstmal erster Offizier, ja, also, ne? Aufschrift, untersuche, benutze RT, um zu interagieren.
Starbase on the very edge of Federation space. Long way from home now.
Ja. Schön. Ja, also man merkt schon, ne, also auch ärgerlich, dass es da keine Grafikeinstellungen gibt. Ja, ja. Untertitel, Mausumkehr, Kameraempfindlichkeit, Musik, Lautstärken, kann man alles einstellen. Hier noch Modis. Aber keine Grafikeinstellungen. Hier, Fähnrich Colorway ist schon hier meine Crew. Nice. So, dann melden wir uns mal bei der Sicherheit. Die Sicherheit geht vor, ne?
Commander? I'm not usually such a nervous wreck, by the way. I actually did well at the academy.
Oh yeah?
Maybe you've heard of the Torvalin test?
Sounds familiar.
It's a tactical simulator that makes the Kobayashi Maru look like a picnic on Pintaris 5. Anyway, I finished in the top 20. Not just in my class. I mean, all time. In the history of the academy.
Really? That's quite impressive.
Thank you. It was tough. But you know, I set my mind to it and it paid off.
So, der Commander Flash ist dazu gekommen. Er geht auch für ihn die Hand hoch und spreizt die Finger zum vulkanischen Gruß. Lebe lang und erfolgreich. Willkommen im Buddies VR Lounge unter 7 Commander. Schön, dass du mit dabei bist. Freue mich riesig. Ja. Jetzt soll ich hier irgendwie Handscan. Ja, Handscan. Mach mal Handscan. Guck mal, ich habe einen Ring am Finger. Komisches Gefühl. Guck mal, die schreibt gleich.
Wait, you're Jara Rydek? You absolutely crushed the Torvalin test. You finished in what, like the top?
Na, jetzt fangen wir so ein bisschen hier.
That would be me.
Now I'm really. It's an honor to meet you, Commander. Sorry, I didn't realize before. I just came off the shuttle and was glad to be on solid ground.
The pleasure's mine, Ensign.
Paul Calloway.
Good to meet you.
I believe Commander Ermod is expecting you. He's in the concourse just ahead.
So, jetzt gucken wir mal, was ihr geschrieben habt. Und da ist der Bot ebenfalls mit dabei. Geht auch für den Bot die Hand hoch und spreizt die Finger zum vulkanischen Gruß. Lebt lang und erfolgreich. Willkommen im Buddies VR Lounge. Ebenfalls du, Games for DOS und du 7 Commanders. Schön, dass ihr mit am Start seid. Freue mich riesig. So, hallo Buddy, Leute. Ach, plötzlich ist auch Resurgence was für dich, wenn es mit dem Injector in VR läuft. Klar. Only in VR. Ist doch logisch. Ja? Und da geht auch suboptimal, also für suboptimal, ebenfalls die Hand hoch und spreizt die Finger zum vulkanischen Gruß. Lebt lang und erfolgreich. Willkommen im Buddies VR Lounge und der 7 Commander. Schön, da ihr alle mit am Start seid. In VR sollen die Kämpfe mit den Lichtschwertern später nicht so gut funktionieren. Freue mich auf dein Feedback. Ja, ja, Flash. Ist klar. Ja, oder bekannt dafür, dass er immer einen raushaut. Ja, das sieht doch ganz schön aus hier, ne? Also, man fühlt sich als Trekkie ja echt wohl. Oh, ich kann sogar laufen.
Good day, Commander.
Ja, guten Tag selber.
If I remember my briefing, Commander Ermod is a Boolean, so I'm looking for someone with blue skin.
Bullianer, alles klar. Das ist kein Bullianer. Verlorenes Crewmitglied. Red mal mit dem mal.
Yeah, I'm just... Well, I'm not sure where my departure dock is. The Resolute's gonna leave without me.
Look here. The Resolute is leaving from this dock.
Ah, you're right. Nerves must be getting to me.
Jetzt sind alle ein bisschen durch den Wind, ne?
Thanks so much, Commander.
Oh, ein Bullianer. Da hinten ist ein Bullianer. Aber ich kann auch noch mit den Informationen hier interagieren.
Starbase 128 has 4 docks.
Super, ne? Da haben wir einen Bullianer.
Excuse me.
Ey. So.
Welcome to the edge of the galaxy, Commander Praydog. I'm Commander Jan Ermot, Operations Officer on the Resolute. Commander? I hope there wasn't too much trouble getting here. This storm isn't making anything easy for us right now. I know conditions are less than ideal at the moment.
It was a bit bumpy, but otherwise okay.
My apologies. This storm is unlike anything I've seen before. We're grateful you were able to come fill our first officer vacancy at such short notice. From everything I've read and everything I've heard, we're lucky you were available to us. Coming from a premier starship and all. To our little research vessel.
I'll do my best to live up to expectations.
Oh, I'm sure you'll do just fine. And if I can help in any way, just let me know.
So, da ist die Resolute. Schöne Perspektive. Wie gesagt, ein Schiff der Nova-Klasse oder der Excelsior-Klasse wäre mir natürlich lieber, aber okay. Typisches Star Trek Schiffsdesign, ja. Ja, also Schiff der Nova-Klasse wäre mir auch lieber. Und das ist auch klein.
It was an accident?
Equipment malfunction. An accident suggests fault, but no one's to blame. It was a planned test, but the warp core was pushed beyond its limits. It destabilized the dilithium, there was a runaway reaction, and the warp bubble deformed. We thought we could reach a higher resonant frequency, but it was more than she could handle. Cost us our first officer and 22 of our crew. At the end of the day, we're all responsible for each other. That's what it means to be a crew.
I can't even begin to imagine what that must have been like for you. I'm so sorry for your loss.
Thank you. It does weigh heavy. There are some things you can't forget.
It's been 6 months. What's the attitude among the crew now?
Unsettled. But I hope that a new mission will help them move forward. If not, move on. Listen. I realize you've known Captain Solano for quite some time. And I'm glad you're ready to bring your best. But I should warn you that when the captain announced you would be the new first officer, there were those who felt it was a mistake, that he should have promoted from within. So you might want to tread lightly at first. Until they come to value your contributions as much as he does.
Trust is earned, and it sounds like I have my work cut out for me. But I plan on winning them over.
I don't doubt that. I just figured it was better to know what you're walking into.
Of course.
Starfleet has assigned us a high-priority mission to the Heute
Okay.
region. I'll let the captain brief you on board. I know he's eager to see you.
Will we be mission ready in time?
We have every intention. The crew has been working around the clock to get the ship ready. There's still so much to do.
So, dann guck ich doch mal in den Chat. Und da sehe ich, Hector ist mit dabei. Peter Netten, Lost in VR. Und mir geht auch für euch alle mal die Hand hoch und spreizt die Finger zum vulkanischen Gruß. Liebet lang und erfolgreich. Willkommen im Buddies VR Lounge unter Seven Commanders. Schön, dass ihr mit dabei seid. Freue mich riesig. Ja, das Item-Popping im Hintergrund ist echt übel, da hast du recht. Yara Riddick könnte auch Catherine Janeway heißen, oder? Habe ich auch gedacht, Lost in VR. Erinnert schwer an Catherine Janeway, auf jeden. Der Buddy live zum Frühstück, sehr schön, schreibt der Hector. Buddy hat feuchte Augen, Star Trek in VR. Ja, Star Trek in VR ist ja auch geil. Junge, Star Trek, ne? Oh, voll nice. So. Und jetzt die nächste Figur, die man spielt, ne? Und sieht man auch immer auf den Covers.
Stuck. I got just the thing.
Ja. Ein Schraubenschlüssel? Nee. Also ein Spulenschlüssel, ne? Ja, das Jetzt gehen hier das davor. Alter. Was haben wir da? Hyperspanner. Die anderen Gegenstände reiche ich irgendwie nicht. So komme ich da vielleicht ran. Nee. Mit den Teilen hier habt ihr gerade mal auch suboptimal. Plasmabrenner, hört sich gut an, nehmen wir den. Ach du Gott. Puh. Einfach nur hier drin, alles klar. Ja, komm, geh doch mal da rein. So. Guck mal, das habe ich verstanden, überhaupt. Die Fuddeln, das ist der Wahnsinn.
Is that?
Ploppt alles auf. The lower decks. Ha!
I thought that thing was totally fried. Nice work, Carter.
Nothing to it, Millie.
And not a moment too soon. The boss wants us down in engineering. Like, now. Come on!
Oh, der hebt schon mal so was, ne? Ja, verstehe ich jetzt nicht. Gar nicht so leicht.
Carter Diaz!
Ja.
So clean I can see myself. And you know what? Not half bad.
Okay, komm, geh mal weiter. Schön. Hier fühlt man sich echt wohl.
Good to see her fully operational again. And if she breaks, we'll just fix her.
Oh, jetzt bin ich allein mit ihrem Turbolift.
I heard the new EXO just arrived. Won't be long before we get underway. I just hope whatever Chovok called us down for is something good. I can never tell with him. I'd rather not end up degaussing plasma manifolds. Hanging upside down makes me queasy.
You and me working together, we can tackle anything he throws at us.
Your optimism is positively contagious.
Oh, Drill. Schön, ich mag Drills.
like
Wäre
we
nur die
got
Frage,
here
ob
for.
es ein
Lieutenant Commander Chovak.
Vereinigter drin ist.
We were just
Oder nicht
looking for you,
Vereinigter.
Commander.
Petty Officers Ed Solar, Diaz. I was beginning to think you would be late. We are all hands on deck right now, which means if you are not at your post at the appointed time, I do not have someone to replace you. A point I have been forced to make to Petty Officer Edsolar on repeated occasions.
Well, Commander Chovak, isn't it true that if we were almost late, it categorically means that we were not late?
That is correct, Mr. Diaz.
I mean, if anything, Ed Solar and I are following the schedule to the letter.
Yes, perhaps I should adjust the schedule accordingly.
So, I don't suppose you wanted us down here to check in before we go off duty?
Equip yourselves in EV suits to work on the exterior of the hull. I need you to tune the structural integrity field for optimal performance. The subspace distortions and ionic interference we are experiencing are preventing the proper calibration. But this ship must be ready to depart shortly, despite the storm. The precise nature of these disturbances are not fully understood. But many systems have been affected by the wide band of emissive activity.
Whatever it throws at us, we'll be ready. We've got the best chief engineer in the fleet.
I am a Vulcan, Mr. Diaz. Flattery is not necessary. All that I require is that you do your job. Right now, that entails critical preparations, because long-range sensors show that these disturbances will be more severe at our destination, the Hotari system. You have your orders. Do not delay.
Yes, Commander
Roger that.
Chovak. All hands on deck.
What's that?
All hands on deck. That's what Chovak said. You know what that means? It means this ship isn't ready to go out and the brass know it. So they're throwing every warm body at it. And they're going to leave on schedule. Consequences be damned.
Won't get an argument from me, Nelly. Sure seems like everyone's still scrambling.
And I get it. When has a relaunch ever gone off without a hitch? But this isn't just any old refit or any old relaunch.
Oh, whoa. Excuse me.
A lot of new faces coming on board. It's gotta be tough coming as a replacement. That's for sure.
They seem all right. Something that happened 6 months ago while they were off on another ship? Well, that's nothing to hold against them.
Yeah, you're right. I guess getting a little new blood on board doesn't hurt.
Eben.
Hold on. Now there's an old face I didn't expect to see again. Hey, Miranda!
You weren't gonna leave without me, were you?
Miranda, you're here?
We thought you were staying on the Adirondack.
Transfer came in at the last minute, so I figured I'd slum it on this bucket of bolts. Looks like you got her back together pretty nicely. I wasn't sure what to expect.
I'm gonna take the high road here, pretend you didn't say that, and welcome you aboard.
He's a better diplomat than I am.
He still owes me a bottle of Saurian brandy. Don't think I forgot.
Oh yeah, it's coming back to me now.
Maybe Carter can rustle up that bottle and we can give you a proper welcome. As soon as we wrap up this quick little spacewalk.
So, dann machen wir kurz Pause und gucken mal zu euch in den Chat wieder rein. So, Crash Hero Style ist mit am Start und Fetisch und Walker 81. Und ja, Dankeschön, Bot. Dir auch noch einen schönen Tag. Hoffentlich sehen wir uns später nochmal. Ich werde ja heute nochmal live gehen. Aber jetzt geht's erstmal hiermit weiter. Habt ihr alle frei? Schon um 2:30? Muss keiner von euch arbeiten? Nö, heute nicht. Muss mir das Game auch mal holen, schreibt Walker. Und da geht doch mal für euch alle die Hand hoch und ich spreize die Finger zum vulkanischen Gruß. Liebe lang erfolgreich. Willkommen, Buddies, wie alle und schon das Seven Commander. Schön, dass ihr mit dabei seid. Freue mich riesig. Nichtraucher-Zigarettenpause, genau. Gönnt ihr die Nichtraucher-Zigarettenpause. Definitiv, steht hier auch zu, auch als Nichtraucher. Hast vollkommen recht, Lost in VR. Ja, und auf Steam ist es noch nicht draußen. Ich dachte auch die ganze Zeit, boah, wann kommt das Spiel raus? Aber im Epic Store kriegt man es bereits schon. Und dann habe ich mir das jetzt heute mal im Epic Store mal geholt.
Here, let me help you.
Thanks.
So what's the word? Are you back in the security rotation?
Yep. Still running with the usual suspects.
Whoa.
Good to go.
Ach, tolle Vibes, das Spiel.
See you on the other side.
Activating magnetic souls.
Ja. Ja. Jetzt geht's out of space. Komm weiter. Nice. Schöner Übergang.
Have you never gets old.
Let's go.
Wieder Charakterwechsel oder was? Unser Freund der Bolianer? Ja, da bin ich. Also mein anderer Charakter.
Captain Solano should be here momentarily.
Bereitschaftsraum des Captains. Boah. Sind aber auch manche Stellen echt
You'll
gut
have
am
to forgive
Flackern.
me, I don't know much about Kobleods. But my understanding is you need a steady supply of duridium to keep your cell structure stabilized, or bad things start to happen. And we have plenty of duridium in sickbay, so there's no risk of running out.
Thank you.
Feel free to make yourself at home. And help yourself to whatever you like from the replicator.
Replikator, nice. Erstmal schönes großes Eis. Ja, dann machen wir hier Replikator. Da. Ich hätte gern Eis.
Just a sip of something.
Wie einen schnellen Schluck. Ah, ich wollte ein Eis.
Rack the Geno. That sure has a kick.
Ja, ist ja Reaktor Gino.
Jara Rydak. Last time I saw you, it was graduation from the academy. You'd already secured one of the most prestigious assignments possible. And you were burning with enough ambition to fuel 7 trips around the Necrit Expanse.
It's good to see you again, Captain.
I could not be happier to have you on the Resolute. The only regret is that we couldn't provide you with a warmer welcome. The arrival of a first officer to her new ship deserves a bit of fanfare. But, unfortunately, we've had our hands full with the refit.
That would be totally unnecessary. I don't need any pomp and circumstance.
You've been here all of 5 minutes, and already you're trying to make us more efficient. I like it. As I'm sure you've heard, we've had a rough go of it these last 6 months. The ship suffered some damage, but not nearly as much as the crew.
You'll have to forgive me. I don't really know the details.
Starfleet has been kind enough to keep the story contained. Probably because they want to protect me. But I don't mind telling you. We were on the verge of a major scientific breakthrough. A quantum leap forward in warp core technology. 10,000 teradynes per second. The ability to travel at a sustained rate of speed longer and faster than we ever dreamed. What would have been the crowning achievement of my career. Right there. Within our grasp. Until it all went so horribly wrong. We pushed her too hard, and a warp core malfunction overloaded the system, creating a pressure gradient way beyond what the ship can handle. It was heartbreaking. We lost some of our best people. As captain, I have to take full responsibility. It was my decision to make, and I have to live with the consequences.
We all know the risks when we sign up. There are no guarantees. As much as we tell ourselves otherwise.
True. But as captain, my job is to mitigate and manage the risks as much as possible. And that's where I failed. In my defense, I will say, I might have avoided the whole ordeal if my senior staff had been willing to trust me. There was a lot of pushback from my former XO, and I think that cost me his confidence. I don't want to pull any punches. Certainly not on my account. But once we decide on a course of action, I need everyone to fully commit to the mission. Anything short of that just won't work. And that's when things start to go sideways.
Whether I agree or disagree, I can promise that I'll be honest to a fault.
Good. That's exactly what I'm looking for. But at the end of the day, it has to be my call. Look, I'll be blunt. We can't afford another mistake. Or at least I can't. I feel like my career is hanging in the balance here.
Mir scheint irgendwie, dass seine Karriere wichtiger ist als manch anderes, ne?
I understand.
On a more positive note, Starfleet has tasked us with what they're calling a mission of the highest priority. Escorting a senior diplomat to Hotari space. Two previously peaceful and otherwise non-aggressive civilizations now find themselves on the brink of all-out war.
So it's a peacekeeping mission.
I see it as a golden opportunity to not only prove what the Resolute and her crew are truly capable of, but also a mission for which we're uniquely qualified. This ionic storm. Our long-range sensors suggest it's several orders of magnitude stronger than anything on record. A total anomaly like nothing we've seen before. And you'll never guess where it leads.
Hotari.
Exactly. Very nearly in the precise location where we're headed. Where I imagine the interference will be exponentially greater.
Who is the senior diplomat we're escorting?
That I don't know. Starfleet hasn't said. But I don't want to get ahead of myself. I expect we'll have some rough sledding when we arrive, so I need you to prepare the crew for the worst. There's just one more thing I want to clarify up front. The metric that for me will be the ultimate measure of your success.
What is it?
If after serving as my first officer, you don't one day find yourself with a ship of your own, then I will consider it my personal failure. When that might happen is entirely up to you. But it goes without saying, you have my full support.
It's been a dream of mine since before I can remember. So I would be honored to become a captain someday.
As long as you're willing to do the work, you have my promise. I'll do everything in my power to see that it happens.
Thank you.
Come. Let me introduce you to the crew.
So, gucke ich nochmal in den Chat zu euch. So. Muss mir das Game auch mal holen, genau. Genau, das haben wir schon gelesen. Ah, fange 5 Uhr an, da habe ich nachmittags meiste Zeit, schreibt der Walker. Genau, auf Steam kommt es irgendwann April bis Juni raus, richtig. Genau, das Spiel gibt es schon fast ein Jahr, aber auf Steam leider noch nicht. Ne? Deswegen habe ich es mir jetzt auch jetzt im Epic Store geholt. Ja, ist schon nice. Richtiges Star Trek Feeling kommt halt gleich mal auf. Ach, was ne süße Brücke. Ist doch schön. Ja. Passt zu so einem kleinen Wissenschaftsschiff. Noch ein bisschen TNG-Vibes. mit der Waffenoffizierstation.
Some quick introductions. This is Lieutenant Handar, our helmsman, one of the best in the business.
Es ist wie Enterprise E und D irgendwie gemischt. Wirkt die Brücke.
Pleasure to meet you, Commander.
Likewise.
Next,
Kann man machen.
we have Commander Westbrook, our chief science officer. I've come to rely on his expert counsel on a regular basis.
Pleasure.
Commander Praydog, it is such an honor to meet you.
This is our tactical officer, Lieutenant Bedrosian. We've been looking forward to meeting you for about as long as I can remember.
I've been following your career for quite some time. And I look forward to learning as much as I can from you.
If anything, the honor is mine.
Well, I have to admit, one of the reasons I've followed your career is because you're part Kobliad, because of what you've overcome. Starfleet stands up for people who can't defend themselves, and you were one of those people once. But since then, you've done so much to protect others who need it. I really admire that. So, you've been something of an inspiration to me. Not that I've done anything close to what you've done, but you definitely set a standard to strive for.
That's very kind of you to say, but enough about me. We have a lot of work to do.
Oh, yes, of course.
And then, of course, you've already met Commander Ermod. Please, do everything you can to make Commander Praydog feel at home here. I'll be on the starbase. Have an urgent meeting with the starbase commander to get our authorization to get underway. If they drag their feet any longer, we won't make our rendezvous. The bridge is yours.
Ah, das wollte ich schon nur hören. Klar.
Commander, Chief Engineer Chovak needs to lower the structural integrity field. He's sent a crew out to recalibrate the emitters in response to the danger posed by the storm. We just need your go-ahead.
Permission granted.
Lowering structural integrity field, now.
Entering maintenance mode. Condition blue.
Jetzt geht's mit dem weiter.
The storm is getting worse.
Looks like they turned off the SIG.
Great. Let's get to that emitter.
Kann ich die Sicht hier irgendwie? Ne. Sicht kann ich nicht verändern. Geil, die Warp-Gondeln da, ne? Bin jetzt unter der Untertassensektion. Okay, also wir gehen so gesehen, wenn man hier im Weltraum oben und unten sucht, gehen wir jetzt unter dem Schiff her.
When I joined Starfleet, all I wanted was a ride out of town. But this isn't exactly how I pictured it.
On the outside of the ship?
No.
Erzähl hier da.
Sometimes it feels like we're just part of the machinery. Don't you want more than that? I mean, Starfleet is noble and all, but it's still a machine.
Yeah, of course I do. Starfleet's an open door. We just have to walk through it. You wanted to get away. I enlisted because I didn't want to wait years just to get out and see the galaxy. I wanted to go somewhere, see new worlds, look up at a sky no one's ever seen before. Just because I'm cranking a hyperspanner up in a Jeffries tube today doesn't mean that's all I'll ever be. Diaz to Commander Chovak.
Jetzt geht's an die Arbeit.
We are at the SIF emitter.
Acknowledged. You may proceed with the recalibration.
Werkzeugkaste.
Beginning recalibration.
Stimme die Knoten ab, um die Kreisführung-Indikatoren zu zentrieren. Werkzeug bewegen. Punkte einstellen.
Careful. Too much action and harmonics will deflect the alignment.
What?
Looks good. That wasn't so hard.
Commander Westbrook, right?
Mag den
Chief
Professor.
Science Officer.
You remembered my name and my rank. Impressive. Yes, I'm the Chief Science Officer, and I have the dubious honor of being the most senior officer on this bridge. I know this ship inside and out. Better than just about anyone.
What a very impressive list of credentials.
This is a research and discovery ship, first and foremost. Now with a former tactical officer as its new first officer. I'm curious, though. A Kobliad, or half in your case, is an odd choice for first officer, given your vulnerable condition and all. But if, as an example, we found ourselves in a hostile situation, and you were suddenly incapacitated because you needed an infusion, what would happen then?
Ach, das zeigt der Ring auch an.
You'd leave Captain Solano without an XO. Granted, that would be a worst-case scenario, but not outside the realm of possibility.
That's very kind of you to be concerned about my well-being. But you don't need to trouble yourself on my account. I'll be fine.
Well, I wouldn't say I was concerned, just curious, that's all. Listen, can I be blunt, Commander?
I see no reason to stop now.
Commander Sutherland, your predecessor, was one of the best first officers in all of Starfleet. His record was impeccable and his reputation was without equal. I mean no disrespect, but the shoes you're stepping into are almost impossible to fill. He was loved by the crew. And he was one of my closest friends.
I don't think I could ever replace Commander Sutherland. And it would be a mistake to even try.
Seeing as Captain Solano is on the starbase, let me give you an update on this ion storm we're flying into. It's unusual, unlike anything I've ever seen. At the moment, I can't tell you if the Resolute will shrug it off or if we're putting ourselves at risk. However, if we learn more about its patterns, its nature, we can come up with a scientific countermeasure. Just a moment.
We've got a massive energy wave inbound.
On screen.
Der Nexus.
Tracing its trajectory.
Starbase docking clamps are holding.
The storm's emissions are fluctuating, coming in waves. And if my projections are right, we're about to get hit by a wide-band burst of ionic energy. Like a tsunami.
I'm reading power abnormalities.
Red alert.
Aye. Evacuating main gangway and retracting.
Putting sensor visualization on screen.
With the structural integrity field shut down, we can't take a direct hit.
Time to impact. 1 minute.
Shield systems are severely impacted. We have limited protection.
I need every available solution. What are our options?
We can weaken the impact of the storm with a deflector pulse.
There's a better way.
I'm sending all auxiliary power to the deflector dish.
Send the aux power to the shields. We can't reactivate the entire shield bubble, but it's a directional threat. So we can orient all we have towards the wave. You have to believe me.
We only get one shot at this. We can't afford to get it wrong.
That's right, which is why we need to send power to our shields.
Bedrosian, get those shields up.
Rerouting power to shields. Stand by. I need a heading. We've only got one shot.
Understood. On my command.
Heading locked.
Raise shields.
This is it!
All hands, brace for impact.
What happened?
We have experienced a surge of radiation.
Oh, you don't say.
This radiation supercharged the plasma, forcing it to backflush through the system and creating a dangerous imbalance.
Blow out every primary system on the ship.
Just tell us where you need us.
I need you to traverse the hull to the access port to recalibrate the port nacelle plasma regulator.
We've reached the first access point.
Understood. Do you see the override for the level 1 failsafe circuits?
Affirmative.
Engage the override. It should allow us to stop the EPS flow to the warp engine without triggering an automatic core shutdown.
Da war es. Ne? Da. Nee. Ein bisschen fummelig. Da nichts. Ja. Ja. Auch nicht. Ah, das ist ein bisschen tricky hier. Da war's. Na.
Failsafe override engaged.
Are you sure? I am registering some crosstalk in the bypass circuit.
We need to route the signals so they don't interfere with each other.
Jetzt hier oben. Ja.
Diaz to Resolute. The failsafes are temporarily disabled. Moving on to the EPS regulator.
Heads up, Carter.
What is that?
One of the discharges coalesced.
It's coming right toward us. I'm gonna try to disrupt it with my phaser.
We gotta climb up the pylon. Not that there's really an up, but you know.
Da hinten wieder. Kommen ja immer wieder die Scheißteile.
We're almost to the regulator.
At the regulator. Opening the access panel.
And now halting the EPS flow to the port nacelle. We have little time before it causes an overload in the engine. You must work efficiently.
Ja, super. Weil Anvisieren so gut klappt, ne?
EPS manifold adjusters reset to neutral.
Ach so.
EPS lines to the port warp engine are back in balance.
Geborener Ingenieur.
Once I cycle the manifold nozzles, Chovak.
Ja, genau. Wie kann das denn jetzt passieren? Ja, klar. Oh.
Get down! Dear's the bridge. We just lost the docking clamp. We've got a lot of debris coming down. All vibrations, too. We can't finish the EPS regulation in these conditions. Please advise.
We have to release the ship from that other docking clamp or the hull will be ripped apart.
There's a problem. The clamps are supposed to disengage automatically in an emergency, but it's not working.
Not working.
What are our options?
The docking clamps are fitted with exploding bolts for an emergency release.
We've got crew out there. That'd be like setting off a bomb next to them.
Maybe there's another way.
Starbase is hailing us.
Put him through.
Resolute, the remaining mooring arm is failing. You need to disengage from the starbase now.
Ach,
Damage
ehrlich.
to the station will be catastrophic.
We have crew outside and are looking for the
We have
safest way
people
to...
on this station. If that mooring arm breaks, we could lose dozens of crew.
Commander, hear me out. Reverse the polarity of the hull, which theoretically will repel the docking clamps.
And repel the engineering crew right off the hull into the storm.
This is Captain Solano. Put me on screen.
Go ahead. Captain, we have a situation.
Commander, what are you doing? Blow the bolts on the docking clamp.
The captain doesn't know the whole story.
I'm giving you an order. Jara?
Captain, you brought me here because you trusted me. Can you trust me now?
You better be sure you make the right decision.
The captain made himself quite clear.
They're gonna get hammered with debris out there. Reverse the polarity.
There is protocol.
And there are lives.
Starbase, stand by. We're gonna flip hull polarity to disengage the clamps.
Yes, Commander.
Repair crew, this is Acting Captain Jara Rydek. Be advised, we are going to reverse hull polarity to free us from the remaining docking clamp. Tether yourself and deactivate your boots on my mark.
Understood.
8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Mark! Ah!
Grab my hand. I got you.
Thank you.
Oh, Alter!
Is reaching critical condition. We are moments from primary system failure.
Und das alles an der Raumstation. Komm, mach. Wahrscheinlich so da rein, so. Das ist ein Blödsinn, ey. Ach Mann! Wird geschafft. Ja!
8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Mark!
Ein bisschen zu früh? Ist ja ganz zu früh, ne?
Grab my hand.
Thank you.
Plasma imbalance is reaching critical condition. We are moments from primary system failure.
I got it.
Geh doch mal da rein. Ach Mann, kurz davor. Erneut versuchen.
8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Mark!
Ah, das war ein Timing.
Grab my hand. I got you.
Thank you.
Plasma imbalance is reaching critical condition. We are moments from primary system failure.
I got it.
Jawohl! Nein.
I got you. Petty Officer Edselar's hurt and unconscious. I'm gonna have to tow her back to the airlock.
Mr. Diaz, the situation has changed. You are at risk of triggering a substantial electromagnetic arc to approach the main hull the way you came.
But Commander, the way we came is the nearest airlock.
There's an auxiliary hatch near you on the far end of the pylon. You must bring Miss Edselar there to access the interior.
Roger that. Go in there now.
Alter.
I'm at the auxiliary hatch.
Komm, mach hin. Ja klar, ohne Dekomprimierung da rein. Logisch.
You go first.
In der Jeffries-Röhre. Logisch.
Let me save your neck this time. No time to fight me on this. Get in there.
Not on your life.
Let's not let it come down to that.
Ach, Real.
We made it.
They're safe, bringing the Sith fully online.
Do it.
Ach, Marie meine Traube. Gibt es erstmal Mega vom Chef?
Nilly.
I'm good. Help me with him.
Let's get this off. Medical. Got one wounded at my location. Carter. You don't look so good.
Wie nett.
You gotta be more careful. I just got here. I'm not ready to see you two get blown to space dust just yet. Now let's get you down to sickbay.
Great.
Da ist er ja.
The repair crew made it inside. EPS flow is back to nominal levels. The SIF is back up.
How does this affect mission readiness, Mr. Ermot?
Releasing the docking clamps using hull polarity minimized damage to the Resolute. We'll have some last-minute repairs to make, but if we reapportion some of the staff, we can make our departure on time. As of now, however, we are successfully moored to the station.
Good to hear. Send updates to my ready room. Commander Rydick, with me. You disobeyed my orders.
Yep. Waren Scheißbefehle.
Well?
Respectfully, Captain, I made the right choice given the
You
information I had.
disobeyed my orders.
Ja.
Not just in front of the bridge crew, but the Starbase staff as well. That's going to get around.
Ja. Dein
My
Problem.
name's already
Ja.
tarnished around the fleet.
Genau. Hast verdient.
What is it going to do to my credibility on this ship?
Voll untergraben.
From the top to the bottom. Bridge to lower decks.
Captain, I told you I'd be honest, so here it is. Maybe I shouldn't have disobeyed a direct order, but you were wrong. You weren't on board, and you didn't have all the information. So I made the right decision for the ship. If you're worried about your credibility, put your ego aside and trust your crew. Trust me.
Gefällt mir.
You might have won some fans on the bridge with that stunt, but not everyone. Lieutenant Commander Chovak has already bent my ear.
I'm sure he doesn't take it personally. He'll get over it in time.
Mr. Chovak is more complicated than he would want to admit. I guess we all are.
Ja.
And
Ist sie fertig?
if I'm being honest, I'm not sure what I would have done.
Oh, er kann ja mal reflektieren.
Never really know if you weren't in those shoes. So, let's just boil it down to you did what you had to.
Thank you for understanding, sir. I'm sure no one knows the burden of command as well as you do.
I'm sure you will, someday. Despite it all, we got our final Starfleet clearance to depart. So if you'll fetch Mr. Ermot, knock out the final details of any outstanding repairs, then we'll set out for Heute.
Yes, sir.
So, Leute, und das soll dann für die erste gewesen sein. Ah, jetzt gibt es noch eine schöne Szene wohl. Bereit zum Aufbruch. Ja, absolute... Also, das ist schon ein geiles Star Trek-Spiel. Schön, dass man das auch hier in VR spielen können mit dem Injector-Mod. Wie gesagt, ihr müsst halt diese Ordner mit der Open VR oder Open XR DLL-Datei löschen. Dann kann der Injector-Mod das Spiel auch starten.
The Orion Syndicate could sell it as a drug.
Don't let the Admiralty hear you say that.
Captain on the bridge.
Hat zwar manchmal dieses Flimmern,
Sit, everyone.
aber kann man gut in VR spielen.
Not big on speeches. We're embarking on the
Aber es
first
gibt
mission
Spiele,
since
da
our
ist auch klar, die sehen mit dem Unreal Injector Mod besser aus. Ne? Also Conan zum Beispiel oder Hogwarts Legacy sieht halt geiler aus, muss man sagen. Aber das ist schon ein geiles Star Trek Spiel, was man jetzt ins VR spielen kann, ne? Dann geht's heute Abend auch mit Hogwarts Legacy dann weiter. Und ja, die hebe ich mir auf. Das werden wir auch in Livestreams weiterspielen. Jetzt mal halt, wie gesagt, First Impression. Absolutes Star Trek Feeling erster Güte. Und spielbar in VR. Ja, was will man mehr, ne? Also eine Excelsior-Klasse, genau, das würde ich gerne haben. Mann. Oder zumindest die Nova-Klasse. Ja, auch ein schönes Schiff. Dafür ist die Brücke ganz hübsch, ne? Das Schiff ist auch in Ordnung. Ah, guck mal, ich darf. Nee. Geil. Schön. Hier, diese Anwählen, das ist ein bisschen fummelig.
Easy. Thank you. I'm fine. Really,
You don't look so good.
Ja, jetzt brauchst du wieder ihre Medizin. Ja.
I have to get to sickbay.
Go.
Commander, help me get her inside.
Ah, aber extrem lange gewartet, ne? Also, unnötig. Naja, alles geklärt. Mit der Krisensituation hätte ich schon längst machen können. Totaler Blödsinn, so lange zu warten. Unverantwortlich. Unverantwortlich, sage ich euch. Ja, ja.
Well, that was quite a scare. A few minutes more and it would have been one of the
Oh,
shortest
der
tenures
Schiffarzt.
for a first officer.
Immer ganz wichtige Person. Klar.
Is that
Ne? Kann den
the
Captain
engineer that
auch
was out on the hull?
absetzen.
That storm did a real number on him, but he'll live. Just needs rest. You should worry about yourself.
Genau.
Iridium levels got dangerously low and destabilized your cell structure.
This is definitely one of the more memorable first days I can think of.
My name is Dr. Aram Duval, Chief Medical Officer. To be honest, I've never met a Kobliad before. You're
Rare. I know.
I was going to say special. Your people's numbers have dwindled, despite the Federation's efforts to find a more readily available alternative to the Duridium you need to survive. Yet you joined Starfleet and managed to thrive. I imagine the responsibility must be overwhelming. Maybe even a burden at times.
It does make me unique, but it's not a burden at all. I'm honored to be Kobliad, to represent my people.
As you should be. And don't worry, I won't treat you like a science experiment. I just do the science and leave the experiments to Solano.
You don't agree with his methods?
I don't agree with his definition of acceptable risks. Not when the lives of your crew are at stake. My professional opinion is that the accident took a toll. More than he's willing to admit. He's overstressed, operating in the pressure cooker of his own mind. Which is never a good headspace when the lives of your
Man kann auch, ne, das Auftauchen der Nova-Klasse am Anfang so als Andeutung sehen, ne? Was die,
Something he can put his name on. The more the time passes and the further out of reach it gets, the more risk he'll be.
So, anscheinend gibt es jetzt nicht mal einen ruhigen Punkt, wo ich einfach mal den Stream beenden kann.
To make sure that doesn't happen. And we don't lose sight of the bigger picture.
Which is exactly why I'm so glad you're here.
Also der Doktor gefällt mir schon mal sehr.
And I have to give you credit for what happened on the bridge.
Und doch die anderen Charaktere passen in ihren Rollen ganz gut, finde ich. Ne? Also die Geschichte, die hier erzählt wird, ist halt richtig guter Track. Also jetzt am Anfang. Mal gucken, wie sich das weiterentwickelt.
And I'll spare us both the lecture, but I do feel it's my responsibility to remind you, without regular infusions of Duridium, you will not live. It's as simple as that.
Ja.
Understood.
And my work here is done.
Sehr gut. Geil.
Lieutenant Bedrosian.
Oh.
I came to see if you were okay. We were all pretty worried on the bridge. No one knew what was happening.
I'm feeling much better. Thank you. It's just part of who I am.
You don't have to explain to me. I understand. I'm just glad you're okay. You trusted me earlier with the shields, and I appreciated that. I want you to know that I have your back.
Thank you.
Now, Carter, the emissions that gave you that burn are quite unusual. Everything else that goes with this storm. That's a combination of hyronolin and lectrazine to counter the radiation effects. That should help speed your healing. She's come by a couple of times to see you already. Be brief.
Ja, sie ist kurz.
It's good to see you awake again. I was starting to get worried. Not that you aren't in good hands with Dr. Duval.
Ah, come on. You know you can't get rid of me that easy.
Don't push me, Diaz. You do not want to see me try.
No, nope. I am not getting on your bad side.
I am a formidable enemy. Millie was looking in on you too, by the way. But since it's just us right now, I had a chance to think about this while I was away. And I thought it was important that I just come out and tell you, instead of tiptoeing around it.
It's okay, Miranda. You can tell me anything.
I know that.
Then come on. Just spit it out.
I'm trying. Let me talk.
Ach, das ist zu schön, um den Stream zu beenden.
We've been really good friends for a long time. But I got back here and I couldn't ignore it anymore. I want to see if there's more between us than just being friends.
Ach komm.
You don't have to explain it. I feel the same way. There is something between us.
So, do you want to find out what that something is? If it's there for you, and it's there for me, why not give it a try?
Are you kidding me? I just said yes.
I wanted to be sure I heard that right.
Komm.
Sorry to interrupt. The patient needs to rest if he wants to get back to his old self.
Of course. I'll see you again soon.
Oh, am Händchen gehalten. Schön. Süß. So. Aber die Trill wäre auch nicht verkehrt gewesen, ne? So. Was ist er denn?
Approaching the rendezvous point outside Atari space.
Helm, bring us out of warp.
Also, wir kommen hier irgendwie nicht mal ein paar Sekunden Ruhe.
Ionic interference surging, Captain.
Bam. So, dann würde ich mal sagen, beenden wir das einfach so. Ist wirklich schön. Macht sehr viel Spaß. Mal gucken, wo der wieder... Schiffsbruch, genau, setzt er da ein. Da sehen wir hier Captain Spock. Genau, dann geht's halt damit weiter, wenn wir damit weiterspielen. Ne? Ich weiß noch nicht wann. Geht ja erstmal heute Abend mit Hogwarts Legacy weiter. Ich gucke nochmal zu euch in den Chat, weil da ist so viel los, da kann man schlecht mal zwischendurch mal reinschauen. Das gefällt mir sehr. Tolles Star Trek Spiel. Und man in VR mit dem Unreal Engine VR-Injector-Mod auch zocken kann. Und ich darf nochmal begrüßen für alle, die in der Zwischenzeit hinzugekommen sind. Das ist der Hundelunge VR, KitKat, VR Mainz. Und da geht nochmal für euch hier zum Schluss auch nochmal die Hand hoch und ich spreize die Finger zum vulkanischen Gruß. Lebe lang und erfolgreich. Willkommen im Buddies VR Lounge und des Seven Commanders. Schön, dass ihr mit dabei seid. Freue mich riesig. Ja, so ungefähr 10 Stunden Story, das ist doch mal eine Ansage, ne? Was? Letzter Preis. Wie letzter Preis? Man muss aber auch dialogisch stehen, sonst ist es nichts für einen. Gemütliches Abenteuer. Genau, richtig. 7 of 9 auch dabei? Nee, glaube ich nicht. Du mochtest die Uniform aus TOS lieber? Naja, also mir sind echt die liebsten von DS9. Also die sie dann auch bei den späteren Star Trek Filmen dann auch haben. Also Star Trek 8, 9 und 10. Da sind die Uniformen ja auch benutzt worden, ne? Vorher tauchten sie das erste Mal bei Deep Space Nine auf. Das sollte, denke ich, nicht so sein. Wird an der Mod liegen. Aber vielleicht geht das auch noch was einzustellen. Ja, muss man mal schauen, ne? Meinte halt, manche Texturen flimmern, ne? Ja, Leute, dann bis heute Abend, würde ich sagen. Wie viel haben wir jetzt? Ja, da kann ich noch mal auch mal bei meinen Liebsten mal kurz vorbeischauen, bevor ich dann heute Abend wieder live gehe, ne? Würde mich freuen, wenn ihr wieder mit dabei seid. Also sage ich jetzt mal bis später. Ja, haut rein.